Rwanda. Thanks for watching this video. If you want us to cover any of your top 10 topics, leave a suggestion in the comment section and we will do well to grant your request. Also, if you did enjoy this video, do well to give it a thumbs up and don't forget to subscribe and share with your friends.
From that quick break over there, you're still watching AM Ghana Breakfast Show here on Adoatv. A very big thank you goes to our political guest over there who were talking of fallout of the Vice President's digital economy address at the Ashesi University. From them, a very big thank you goes to Ijoma, who also led the discussion over there. The name once again is Reginald Robertson, the Morning Star. It's been a while on AM Ghana, and I am here to navigate you through on the closure of how we are going to fly into Rwanda. We took off some 2 weeks ago, and finally we are landing. And landing, as we started, we are going to finish it too with the High Commissioner of Rwanda here in Ghana and some other 2 interesting fellows who will also be joining in. And today's conversation is going to be on business prowess or prospects in Rwanda. And we have been looking at the culture, we have been looking at the lifestyle, the way and the manner of people of the good people of Rwanda. We've also seen what is available for us and how we can exchange ideas, education, policies, among other things. Today, it is strictly business. If you're a business executive out there and you want to move business, you want to go international, what are the few things you have to probably look at before you can venture into entering into Rwanda? You know, the marketing perspective gives us the external factors where you look at the political, socio-economical, the economical issues as well as policies, albeit what may give you. But here, let's have real conversations on venturing into Rwanda. What do we really have to look out for as a business executive? And without wasting much time, let me introduce my guest. She was here to launch the celebration or the month awareness of Rwanda in the person of Her Excellency Dr. Aisha Kayabo Kreshi. I got it right. Kachira. That's wonderful. That is the High Commissioner of Rwanda here in Ghana. Madam, welcome back one more time.
Thank you very much, Reginald.
It was a delight watching you on television with Reginald the other time, giving us an overview of what Rwanda has been like and the effort you've made in establishing the mission here in Ghana. I must congratulate you on that tangent.
Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you
So, Madam, I would leave the other introduction of your colleagues to you. But what has the journey been like so far when concerning the Rwandan month here on Adoatv, and what today's conversation is going to look at for in a nutshell?
Allow me to...
That is wonderful. It's allowed. It's allowed. So whilst the Excellency is getting herself poised in for the conversation, we are streaming live on Facebook at Adoatv Ghana and also on YouTube at Adoatv_GH. And it's been an interesting time so far with us whilst we are getting to embrace more ideas and more culture of the good people of Rwanda. And Her Excellency, the High Commissioner, is here to draw the curtains down for us gradually. Your Excellency, over to you.
Thank you very much, Reginald. Good morning to you, and a warm good morning to our viewers. First of all, I would like to thank very much Adoatv, the leadership, the management, and the whole team that have really hosted us so well, so beautifully for the whole of October until today. We're very honored and delighted. I also want to thank the various participants that have been part of this journey since we started, since the first time I was here. We have had various Rwandans, friends of Rwanda, our partners come, and they really gave their best. I want to thank our audience that has really, your audience that has been listening to us. We don't take it for granted. We appreciate it. So for us, October has been a very busy, but also a very beautiful month.
Exactly.
And we want to commend the chance that you gave to us as Adoa. We are 1 year old as the High Commission. We were established, I'm the first resident High Commissioner. We got here almost around the same time with COVID, and the Chancery was launched November last year.
Last year.
So it's actually only 1 year. And this 1 year in a COVID situation, for diplomacy would have been a disaster. But for the good people of our two countries, for the great leadership that we have, for the warmth of the Ghanaians and the hospitality of Rwandans, things have moved ahead. We wanted to tell our story, and you help us to do that. So we want to thank you so much for that, and thank all those that have been part of that journey. So we thought that in terms of maybe closing this nicely, because I want to think that this is going to be, it's the beginning.
It's a beginning.
But it's going to be a relationship with us and Adoa.
Exactly.
So we thought that it would be good for you to know, beyond us and beyond what you told you, what are the institutions that support the High Commission to do what we do? Because we really are here to tell Ghanaians that Rwanda is ready for you. Come and invest. You are the cradle of Pan-Africanism. Come and let it happen. Because our two presidents are very committed to intra-African trade. And we want to see that really be instilled in the lives of people as young as you were. As you're just introducing me, I felt so good that you're waking up there, calling upon the business community to come and do business in Rwanda. But behind me and the small team that you see, we have institutions. That are responsible for helping you, facilitating you, working with you all throughout to make it easy for you to come and do business in Rwanda, to give you information, to really help you get around and get yourself established. So I'm very delighted today to have one of the team members, dear Diane Sainzoga. Shortly I'll give her, you'll allow me to give her the floor maybe to introduce herself. She's not with us here physically, should have loved to, but she'll be joining us via Zoom. And she will give you an overview, because I want to say that even during the times of COVID, when we got here, 3 weeks after my presentation of credentials, RDB was here. And since that time, they've worked with us. So they're really a part and parcel of that journey.
Wow.
We also thought that it would be very good for us to make this real, because it may sound like more of a motivating story or a political rhetoric. Things are happening on ground. We have got partners. We've got people already doing business in Rwanda. And so today we have with us one of our key partners, Yaira, who took a bold step as a what to say, Rwandan, a Ghanaian, to visit Rwanda and do business. He will explain his story. I think he brings life to it. He will show you, tell you what has happened and what he's moving ahead with, so that people can know that intra-African business and trade, we lost time, but now we're set to go. I'm again very delighted to be with you, Yaira, and thank you for for taking time off your busy schedule to be with us. So really, I think for me, this is a great joy and opportunity, and I want again to thank you very much. And
thank you, Excellency. I think Yaira's story is a story that I'll be eager to really listen to, because recently, I think that the finance minister was somehow miscommunicated when he said that their jobs are not available. People should be looking at venturing into entrepreneurship, among other things. So I'm sure young chaps who have more ideas or are starting businesses and would want to go international or go global will look at how you were able to excel in your story, among other things. But let me go on Zoom and then let me speak to Ali. Hi, Danny. How are you doing? Hi, Dane. Is Dane? Diane. Okay. Hi, Diane. Diane, can you hear me? Okay, we'll try our best to hook her up. She happens to be the head of Special Economic Zones and Exports Development at the Rwanda Development Board. She is a seasoned trade facilitation specialist who has worked with the Rwanda Development Board in various capacities over the years. Diane, how are you doing? Good morning. I will come back to.
I think that's the session.
That's fine. That's wonderful. That's wonderful. So, in a brief, let us understand in perspective what your institution does, what the Rwandan Business Board does, and what achievements can you say that you've been able to come out with within this few periods?
Yeah, so thank you so much. So Rwanda Development Board is a government agency in charge of fast-tracking the economic development of the country through the facilitation of the private sector. So we are doing a number of activities related to business facilitation, starting from business registration, so which means that RDB you can register your business, and in only 6 hours you can start your activities, which means
Wow.
your TIN number for customs will be automatically generated for the Revenue Authority. And the system is also connected with the Social Security Board. So all the systems are very well connected. And after registering your businesses in 6 hours, you can start immediately the operations. So in addition to that, we also have other facilitation services and operations related to tourism promotion, as well as the conservation. We have also in our mandate, we have the promotion of investment, as well as being the chief negotiator for all the government deals. We have, in addition to that, department in charge of skills development, which means we are looking at all the skills, everything related to the development of skills in the private sector as well as in the public sector to make sure that we are becoming a knowledge-based economy, and as we are attracting investors, they are able to fund the adequate skills within the country. So in addition to that, we are doing special economic zones development, where in the country we have 2 specialized special economic zones, as well as 9 industrial zones. And RDB, we are playing the role of regulator of those zones. And we also have the responsibility of promoting export, all the kind of export and the facilitating exporters. And within our portfolio, we also have SMEs development. You know, for any development, SMEs are really playing a very key role in terms of job creation. Yeah, briefly, that's what RDB is doing.
That's interesting. I'm grateful that you are making good use of digitalization and the fact that you've been able to amalgate the systems, and just within 6 hours people can begin operations. It's something that I must commend the board for. Sometimes we want to maybe understand the advantages of registering businesses in some foreign lands, foreign in a sense of a Ghanaian. What are that advantages that are to my advantage as a business person that I should even try to initiate the process of registering a business in Rwanda and doing before I come into listen to the lifetime story?
Okay, so you know, after registering your businesses, and there is another step of registering your investment, and now you will be considered as an investor within the country. And that registration of your businesses as an investment, it means it gives you the possibility of accessing a number of our incentives, which means we have fiscal incentives as well as non-fiscal incentives. So for fiscal incentives, depending on the nature of your businesses, as well as the impact of that business within the economy, which means the number of jobs to be created, the number of exports to be generated. So you will get the advantage of having a reduction of 50% of the corporate income tax. You can even get an advantage of tax holiday, but depending on the impact of your project within the economy. In addition to that, there is also what we call non-incentives, non-fiscal incentives. So these are the support services we are providing to our investors, all the businesses investing in Rwanda. They are being assigned a key account manager, which means that person will be following up on daily activities of the investor, including facilitating him to connect with, let's say, the utility agencies, connecting with different other public and private institutions. So the key account manager will be in charge of making sure that the business or the investor is implementing successfully his project within the country. So these are some of the key advantage investors are getting once they are registered within RDB. And of course, there is what we call export processing zone, which means if an investor is exporting more than 80% of their production out of the EAC, they are also benefiting additional advantage, like even they are not paying the VAT, and they have reduction on import tax, so they are importing their materials as well as equipment free of charge. So all those facilities were put in place to make sure that we are really having a very friendly investment climate within the country.
That's wonderful. I'll come back to you later whilst we touch on the African Continental Free Trade and how we are taking advantage of it as both nations. Let me come to Yara. Yara is a young gentleman from Ghana who is having prospects. And I talk about international law. He studied political philosophy, among other things, but left all these things and felt that he should enter into a production cycle. And he felt he had a good soil in Rwanda. The question here is, it will be very, very important for us to appreciate how this all started from, and why you think that you've settled with this line of business that you find yourself doing. And I'm interested to listen to the story, though. And congratulations so far, though.
Thank you, and thank you for the opportunity. Excellency, thank you, Dinah. Thank you so much for being with us. You know, not physically, but we have really talked now. I was actually living in Switzerland where I've studied and was working. And I had the chance to, I chanced upon many Africans who actually crossed the Sahara due to rural urban migration. They come to the cities, and once they have nothing doing, they go through the Sahara, the Mediterranean, get to Europe and seek asylum. So one day I met one in a cell in Switzerland. You know, I was working for the Federal Office for Migration, and he told me, this young man told me, look, if our leaders would actually get systems in place for us not to leave our villages, I don't think I would have found myself where you are finding me now. So I said, yeah, where were you living? He said, well, in a rural setup, in a cocoa community. But I realized that these people take cocoa every day. They take coffee every day. So I have decided to leave all what I was doing, to come back home, to establish this organic cocoa production system. May his soul rest in peace. Honorable Bauredu, the finance minister,
back in the time.
I met him in Ghana and also in Switzerland, and I was able to tell him the story. And he said, well, it's not what your country can do for you, but what can you do for your country? Then I said, well, I think I'll have to leave all what I'm doing to put human rights into reality, because I'm an expert in international law and international relations. So we will produce organic cocoa. He gave me the license. He was a finance minister at that time, to recruit and train farmers to produce organic cocoa. In the process of producing organic cocoa, I realized that Pyrethrum, which was the best in organic production, was coming from Rwanda, an African country. Being a Pan-Africanist, I did not understand that. So I went to the UK to talk to these people, and they were not trying to give me the chance to actually bring that from Rwanda to Ghana. So I was buying it from the UK. Then I have decided to go to Rwanda, to Muzanze, where this thing is found. You know, and when I got there, my fellow Africans really accepted me, talked to me, and they listened to my story. And I told them that, well, I don't see why this should come from Africa to the UK before we bring it back to Ghana. They say, yeah, brother, we are in the same boat. Comrades, we are. We will give you the chance to bring this to Ghana directly to promote comparative advantage, intra-African trade, so we can close the cycle. The cycle is that we produce pyrethrum for you, you produce cocoa, and in the future you can process that cocoa, bring it. Because of our conducive climate, we'll produce chocolate for the world. Very good story. So we started. And the second time I went there, I was brought to RDB. At RDB, I realized that it was more about, you know, a teamwork. PPP was working very well.
Very well done.
The state was not in competition with the business system, but the state is there to actually promote. And make sure that the businesses are working. And then there was this, and still there, cross-sector partnership. So the RDB actually makes sure that whatever I do, wherever I step, is actually perfect, and that the aim that we set for ourselves can be achieved. So I started working with Horizon. Horizon is one of the biggest companies in Rwanda. I think it should be the second or the third. And they actually see to the production of pyrethrum through Soprior, and they have other projects that they do. And there too, I have realized that the history of Rwanda is actually lean on at any time to really have that enthusiasm and that push and search forward. And that the thing is, what is the common good? The common good can be achieved through the promotion of businesses, and the state is there for that. And the good side is that they welcome all Africans. The people even thought I was a Rwandese.
If you don't say I can't, I don't believe it.
Yeah. They have really accepted me. Doors were open. You can just take your phone and call people. They open any door for you. Now we got this pyrethrum because the consumers of chocolate or food products would want to know where what they produce is coming from, especially in this COVID era. But we've been doing this for the past 7 years before this intra-African trade. I have been dealing with Rwanda long ago. And people did not really know what is going on in Rwanda. And the thing is that this thing is even accepted in Europe. The quality is really the highest you can ever find, in the world, when this pyrethrum. So we use it for our cocoa. And Max Fechlin of Switzerland actually is recommending that, and this is what they use for producing chocolate for the White House, they use, because we're using pyrethrum. And this is from Rwanda. What have I also discovered in Rwanda? I realized that the Rwandese, they have that energy, that zeal, that capacity to think properly. And I was trying to find out, what is all this about? And I realized that, His Excellency, Comrade Kagame, actually realized that, well, there is malnutrition everywhere. Sometimes we don't feed very well. But then for a system to work properly, that system needs healthy people. So what have they done? They have really got a program for women, for children, and then for adults. Once a woman is pregnant, they have cereals that they call Nutri-Mama. Nutri-Mama will be given to that woman, or the woman takes that Nutri-Mama for the 9 months that she's pregnant. And this thing has got all the nutrients and the vitamins that a woman needs. And that child that is going to suck that breast is going to suck a healthy breast, after birth is given. And once the child is on earth, they have again a new program. And that program, they call it Nutri Toto. But here in Ghana, Toto means something else.
Exactly.
But
so we don't say it.
They call it Nutri Toto. It means baby.
Yeah.
The baby takes that after 6 months till that baby is 2 years. So the baby will be very healthy. And then finally, the family takes Nutri Family. Nutri Family is actually yes. This
Nutri Family.
It's for the whole family. That means that you have all the nutrients. We have 13 vitamins here with 3 essential minerals that a human being needs. So when as usual, PPP. When I got to Rwanda recently, I was invited by FDA. So yeah, we have this program. I was taken through the program, and then they brought me to African Improved Foods. African Improved Foods is a very big company that is supported by the United Nations, the World Health Organization called them, and they've established that system that produces that with the highest standard and quality that you can find. And now we are given a chance to come and reback this in Ghana for West Africa.
Interesting.
So the story as far as Rwanda is concerned, I think it's a place to get in to do business. And you can really trust that system, and it works. That is what I can say for now.
I'm
delighted to answer your question.
I'm delighted that you've been talking and hammering on PPP, where we have the private-public partnership being done, established for you. And I am also enthused about the warm welcome that the Rwandan Development Board gave to you for you to penetrate into it. One thing that you've been able to allay is fear, and you dared to venture. You know, fear comes with risk. People do not want to take a risk when they want to do business, especially in areas they're not too much comfortable about. What would you tell your fellow business executives who, as a result of risk, they've not dared to come out?
See, like you said it rightly, in business you must be ready to take risk. But in Rwanda, it's not risk, but it's just a place to go to. My fear is that when they get there, they will not come back home anymore. I wouldn't want to come back. It's a place where you can really go in with your business, and then you really achieve what you know. You get what they are saying. It's not just a story; it's a reality. You know, getting to Rwanda, and you know what Rousseau said, that man was born free, but everywhere man is in chains. The question stands whether these chains are my own chains laid around me or not.
Exactly.
And Kant, you know, the German philosopher, he said that, look, man is of age, but man is still under tutel age. You see, the passion that the Rwandese have got in pushing and surging forward is what we have to recognize, that focus and the will to take others along. I think we have a lot to share with them. We have to emulate that, and we will be able to move forward.
On that particular last point, for your experiences in Rwanda, coming back home, we have similar institutions, if I may say. We have some other, like we have the FDA in Ghana. We have other business blocks that would see to it that this Ghana Standards Authority, among other things. What things can you say that in emulating some of the things that you've seen in Rwanda would help locally to also see to it that others find Ghana very fertile to come and invest in, so to speak?
I think sometimes as Pan-Africanists, we have to see ourselves as brothers and Africans, and we learn from the junior or the senior brother. So I think there's a lot to learn, you know, to emulate, you know, from Rwanda. We can commend that, the objectiveness and the civil servant being the servant of the state and the public, the common good that is protected, the teamwork, you know. It's not Comrade Kagame alone that is doing that thing, but he has got a team that shares the same vision. When I talk of team, I'm talking of the citizenry. See, we are as Ghanaians, sometimes we also really have to check what we do, because the leadership cannot really achieve anything if we don't really play that role that we are supposed to be playing. I mean, if you go around the streets throwing plastic and anything anywhere, you read in the papers that this is bad, we need to change ourselves, you know, because I think in Rwanda, everybody has come to understand that, look, this is the way forward. That legitimate, you know, focus that everybody has got. They surround the flag and make sure that it's only one flag. I think that is what we have to emulate, and our institutions must also do that.
Meaning that we have to get the sense of responsibility.
Exactly.
Right. Your Excellency, let me come to you. You want to add up to something?
Yes.
Add up and okay.
Exactly. Thank you so much for asking that. And I just want to add to what he said in terms of what I've seen since I came here. I remember when I presented my credentials, the president congratulated me and made it very clear that he takes our president, President Paul Kagame, as his brother, and that the sisterhood and relationship between Rwanda and Ghana should be realized in us working together. And he asked the whole team that was there, the ministers and everybody, to ensure that Rwanda and Ghana, with the effort that two presidents had made in effecting and establishing AFCTA, these two countries should also take the lead in making it happen. Thereafter, as I told you, this was COVID season. Every door I've knocked on, whether from the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, Finance, Trade, they've all been very, very forthcoming. The tours that we had initially, where Ghanaians visited Rwanda and Rwandans did the same, institutions on either side did help, did actually lead. It was complimentary for them when they were going, because Rwanda, you know, took them on and everything was covered. The same did happen here. whether from GEPA, JPC, GTA, tourism. So the team, I think, spirit is there. What we were maybe not, what we were not probably doing enough was just doing the footwork and connecting the dots, which is what we are all trying to do. Specifically for FDA that you mentioned, for instance, I'm pleased to inform you that we already have had engagements with the heads of both FDA here and the Bureau of Standards in Rwanda, and the two systems are already working together to see how they can make it easy and harmonize the regulation so that whatever is cleared in Ghana doesn't need to go through the same system if it's to go to the Rwandan market and the other way around.
You have to be a prophet, because my next question was almost burdened about the relationship that Ghana and Rwanda has established so far. If we should look at this relationship, how possible can we also take advantage of the African continental free trade? What are some sectors within it that we can say that as a continent it would not only enhance intra-trade but also further establish the relationships of businesses on the whole continent as a whole?
Well, I think that's a very big and beautiful question. I'll make it maybe a bit narrower to what we've so far done between especially Rwanda and Ghana, because we have had internal consultations, whether, as he put it very rightly, Yaira, because it's a PPP, we engaged with the private sector, we engaged with the different institutions that are in charge, and we identified 3 areas. One is in agribusiness, and that is a whole chain. He's just mentioned some of these. There are so many things that you have here which we do not have at home. We don't have the sea. So when it comes to seafood, fish, and the rest of it, there's quite a lot that we import, which we could get from here. You have, of course, the cocoa, the chocolates that we do have. Quite a lot of them come from, the West after they have left here. Our coffee, our tea, you also get from the other side. We have a lot of good pepper. You take much more pepper, I think, than us. There is a market for that. So there is a lot of potential to do business in just the area of agribusiness. There's a lot of potential in the area of IT. I think recently you hosted our young people here.
The Youth Connect.
Exactly, Youth Connect, the caravan. They already met with because Ghana is also good in the area of IT and innovation. They are looking for ways that they can partner to again explore how, because technology is an input to every sector. And I think it's for us to really be able to utilize it in that sense. So there's a huge market. Your vice president the other day was telling us how Zipline, the drone facility, was taken, was adopted from Rwanda. And now we see are working very well. Again, that's a very big and diverse, huge market. Together with that, I think you mentioned something to do with building systems of governance, accountability, and transparency. When we were establishing our decentralization system, with some of the models, we looked at world models, whether within Africa and outside. And we chose what we thought was good. We sat and did what was relevant and best for us. And that now is actually ongoing, including in the fiscal area of resource mobilization, taxation. Today, as we speak, we have got some experts who have come because for us, when it comes to tax collection, we've made it so easy and digitalized that the ease of doing it, the breadth of what you can collect in a period is quite commendable, and that's something that's already been explored to be maybe adopted or taken on by Ghana. Of course, I can't overemphasize the area of tourism, which is really complementary. We are not competitive. I think we've discussed that earlier. And within tourism, you have a whole chain, whether it's the food, the dress, the dance, the culture. There's so much as an industry that the two countries and the other countries can really benefit from. So it's a whole dearth of really experience that
I'm looking forward to my first visit to Rwanda, the ending of this month, where I would enjoy good food, the beach areas, among other things in Rwanda. But it's that interesting. But we'll talk about that later, Excellency. Let me come to Diane, and then let me also ask her, as a development board, we call it the RDB. The African Continental Free Trade is here for us. As a board, do you think that it's going to, one way or the other, enhance Africa, to put Africa in a competitive advantage when we want to look at what the trading activities is like in the world? Diane?
I think she's trying to connect.
Right. Can you unmute yourself, because I barely hear you?
Hello, can you hear me?
I can. That's better. Yeah. Go ahead.
Okay. So thank you so much. I really want to talk about the advantage of that continental free trade agreement, specifically for a country like Rwanda.
Mm-hmm.
So first of all, everything starts with connection. So if we have connections like Rwanda flying directly in Ghana and in other many African countries, it means we are open, and it means we are really going to take much more advantage from the continental agreement. Where there is transport facilities, it means there will be movement of people as well as movement of goods. So that is the point number one, where we are really looking at taking advantage from this continental agreement in terms of moving freely from one country to another. So secondly, it's about the integration in the continental value chains. We realize that what is happening currently, actually, African countries, they are not really trading between themselves. For instance, if it's about cotton, you will see countries like Mozambique, they have good cottons, they're exporting their cottons, let's say in China, and then Rwandans were going back there to buy fabrics made from those cottons. So what is going to happen now with this new movement of trading between African countries? We will be directly buying cotton from Africa, we add value from Africa, and we sell in Africa. So it's a whole linkages of the value chains.
It runs.
Yes. So you understand, it's really going to bring a very big impact in terms of job creation on the continent, as well as it's going to recapture the African market, which means in terms of importation, I believe that the products we are currently importing from abroad are going to reduce. So therefore, we will be consuming made in Africa products because of that new strategy, the new strategies in place, the network between businesses on the continent. It will really facilitate the integration and exchange of opportunities between countries, and it will even reduce the cost of doing business.
Interesting.
Number three, it's about harmonization of rules and regulations within countries. I mean, trade-related policies and strategies. And
it goes away. It takes away the restrictions to that we have within the continent.
Barriers, yeah.
Yes. So it means all of us, we have to align our trade policies and make sure that it's really very well connected. That way we could maximize the advantage we are taking from these continental agreements. So for instance, if there is a trade policy, like a tax policy in Rwanda, the same policy is going to be aligned with the policies being implemented in Ghana. That way we can exchange easily our product. Same thing is also applied on the policies related to standards and the standards and other requirements to access the market. It means we have to harmonize our standards on the continent and therefore really maximize the advantage this market is offering. It's a very big market, very dynamic market with young people, young entrepreneurs ready to work. So it's up to the policy makers really to try to align our policies and then I believe it will really, this is a game changer on what is happening in terms of trade.
Thank you, Dan. I'm very, very grateful for that. I'll give you 1 minute by way of your last words to also see that this free trade thing is to your advantage.
Yes.
How are you going to use it? And then what would you tell your colleague business executives who are yet to venture into areas and tell them that, look, they should join you in Rwanda? The place is okay. Just a minute.
I think it's just the time now for Africans to seek within, and to start. Rwanda has really given a good platform, and I would really advise or suggest to all my business partners and friends and businessmen in Ghana to really go to Rwanda for a week to have a feel of all what is in place. They are seeking to have harmonization of rules and regulations to enable free flow of products in Africa, and this is to be taken advantage of. Thank you.
Thank you, Yara Glover. It's interesting speaking to you, and I'm sure that when you're going, probably you're going to leave some of the Nutri family, and then you're going to have a taste of it as an Adoatv family here. Your Excellency, it's been a wonderful time with you, and then like I said earlier, I'm looking forward to have my fair visit to Rwanda, but I trust that your stay here has been remarkable, and it's been delightful for us on a network to have that partnership with you as a mission. What is your final words for us today?
Again, thank you very much. Many thanks again to Adoa for being a very proactive and warm and friendly part of the Ghana community that really has welcomed us here. I've been very warmly received, and I feel in this just 1 year we have covered so much. And I'm glad that you're soon visiting. I hope as we work around, you'll have many more people visit Rwanda. We will work with the rest of the team back at home to ensure that your stay is memorable. That is for certain. I think the other thing that I would like to say is that it is just time for us, every one of us, to make it happen by doing our bit. What's my role as ambassador in this? My role is really just to connect people, appear here, talk about my country, make it easier for you to get there, listen to you when you're back and as you go. What are the things that you're concerned with, or your fears, and how can I, make it easy for you? We are here just to do that, and we're very delighted that you're making it even easier for us to do it. Many thanks.
Your Excellency is saying that it is time. We are here to just make it happen. So let's not look at our fears. Let's think beautiful. Let's think deep, and then dream bigger as well. For whatever small the business you think it may be, just dare yourself enough to venture into Rwanda. Speak to the Rwandan Development Board, which they are ever ready. Diane is there to take you through it. Diane, anyway, thanks for your time, though, on Zoom. I would have loved for us to have more conversations on how the COVID-19 recovery process has been for businesses there in Rwanda. But I trust that maybe in the future, in our future conversations, we'll look at that and see how that is going to be. But thanks for having me, Diane. And then thanks, too, for having me, Yara Glover. It's been a wonderful time, and a very big thank you goes to you, to Your Excellency, for making all this magic happen. If not for your go ahead, we are most grateful to you, Your Excellency, one more time. And a big thank goes to the team that came from Yara Glover, as well as the people from the High Commission too of Rwanda. I'm most grateful to you, and the technical crew too. I'm most excited and grateful about you too. Until I come in this time again to surprise you, the name is Richard Robertson. Call me the Morning Star. Enjoy the rest of our programs.